Welcome to Glow Social Club, the space where powerhouse women come to reclaim their health, their clarity, and their leadership. I'm Jazmine Corona, functional nutritional practitioner and founder of Organically Glow and Glow Social Club. Around here, we don't do one-size-fits-all advice. We translate symptoms into strategy and build the kind of structure that actually sustains you. If you are ready to lead your health, your work, and your life with clarity, confidence, and conviction, you are in the right place. Let's begin. Welcome back to Glow Social Hour. So today we're going to be chatting about something that has been on my heart for a while, and it's really about moving away from hustle into harmony and realigning with your purpose. So I really want to start by sharing my story of being out of alignment and really what shaped the way I approach everything I do today when it comes to alignment, when it comes to clarity, when it comes to trusting your body and the signals that it is giving you. So when I was in nursing school, this was always the safe option. I already knew, my vision wasn't to be a nurse for the rest of my life. I didn't want to work in the hospital. What I really wanted to do was help people have stability. And as I was going through nursing school, I loved what I was doing, but deep down, I knew the way we were doing things, the way the professors were just teaching us all about how to match prescriptions with symptoms, how to actually just make sure the patients walk out of the hospital because our job isn't to actually educate them on how they can heal. There was this voice in the back of my head that knew, Jazmine, what are you doing? Why are you going down this path when you know that this isn't what you're going to do in the future? This isn't a part of your vision. And of course, when that voice in your head comes, or that pit in your stomach when you know something isn't misaligned, you doubt yourself. You truly doubt it, and you think no, it's okay. We're just going to keep going. Once we finish this, we will do what we are meant to do. We will do what we were called to do, right? Your actual purpose. And that whole time I was just thinking in the back of my head, this is a safe option. This is going to give you stability. This is going to set you up to have an amazing practice, to combine holistic and Western medicine together. And so what I did as a high functioning woman, as a high performer who didn't want to fail or who didn't want to seem like a failure, was to keep pushing through, even when everything in my body knew that this wasn't for me. And so eventually I had to take a leave of absence. And I always say, rejection is literally redirection. And even though I worked so hard to get into that nursing program, even though I worked so hard in my courses, I was doing everything I possibly can to make this work. It didn't work. And so I decided to take a leave of absence, and not because I wasn't strong enough to move through that feeling and to just keep going, but I didn't want to comply in a system that didn't align or even with how I believed in healing. And so that moment is when I realized that I have been stuck in hustle mode. I have been stuck in survival. And it's very sneaky. Hustling is very, very sneaky, just because in our society, we have been taught again that hustling is going to get you further. If you just keep going, if you put your head down and you glorify working extremely hard, you grind, you will achieve all of your goals. You will be successful, but that is so not true. When we're stuck in hustle mode, we are stuck in survival. We are just doing things to do them in order to achieve this idea that we have in our head, but it's actually going to hold you back from achieving your actual purpose. And so that leave wasn't a detour. It was actually a doorway. It was a new opportunity for me to actually realign with what I was called to do, with my purpose, and get back into alignment, into integrity, into what honestly brings us here today. And so, like I said, Hustle culture is very sneaky because we have been taught, we have been programmed that this is normal. This is the only way to succeed in this world. And so eventually what happens when we're so stuck in hustle is we're moving with fear. We're moving in fear, right? We're moving in survival. We're not moving with intention. We're not moving with our purpose. Yeah, we may be moving forward, but what if we actually paused and realigned with what we're actually meant to do in this world? We probably wouldn't experience burnout. We probably wouldn't experience as much anxiety. Our bodies probably wouldn't crash on us if we were actually in harmony. So harmony is really something that I love to talk about because this is really just alignment. Like, you are moving in alignment, you are moving with intention in what you are called to do. And so when you move in purpose, you actually feel good. You feel good in your body, you feel good in your mind. You actually have space to think bigger, to envision bigger for yourself. And so it's truly the opposite of pressure. It's the opposite of moving in survival, right? You're actually aligned with your values and the decisions you make. You really just stop performing just to perform, just to get a badge of honor, and you start listening. And when you move from trust and not fear, you don't need to do more in order to achieve more. You just get to be who you are, and that's enough. You are even allowed to build more strategically if you're building a business, instead of building fast and then your business failing because you just moved and scaled way too fast, right? That happens a lot. And you also, if you are in a healing journey, your body isn't fighting anymore. You have no more anxiety. You're not burnt out. You actually feel really good in your body. You have energy. You wake up and you are ready to tackle the day. And it's really just learning to listen to that. And so when you move away from being stuck in survival, so much opens up for you. It's insane. It really is insane. And as I was going through that whole process of pivoting away from this path that I have been working so hard for, things just felt good. Like, I felt at peace, I felt at ease, and I was like, okay, this is exactly what I was supposed to do. This is exactly where I was supposed to be. And so here are some signs that you are out of alignment, because I really want you to, this is what I want you to get from this episode. I want you to realize that you don't have to be stuck in survival in order to achieve. That you just get to achieve because you are in alignment. So here are some signs that you are out of alignment. You are constantly exhausted. You are overcommitting to things out of guilt. So you know you want to say no to things, but you end up saying yes because you feel guilty. You are ignoring your body's signals. So the anxiety that you feel, the depression that you feel, you are forcing a strategy in your business that isn't aligned with you. Like, it feels forced, right? You wake up and you're like, oh, I gotta post that today. And deep down, you know you don't want to post that. You're out of alignment. And then creativity is just out the window. So these aren't signs that you are weak. It's really just signs that you are out of rhythm with what you are meant to do, what you are meant to be called to do. And so here are some questions to really recenter yourself. And I really want you to take some time to actually realign with your purpose. Because when we realign with our purpose, we can literally transform our lives, generations to come, and the world, because that's the whole goal here. So number one, ask yourself, am I hustling, or am I actually pausing and hearing what is coming in? Am I forcing, or am I flowing? And what season am I really in? Because there are seasons where you have to hustle, but you can still hustle and move with purpose. You're moving with intention. You're not just hustling to survive. And then you also want to ask yourself, what's actually mine to carry? and what isn't. So really realigning with your purpose is something that is super, super important, especially if you're in your 20s. I'm in my 20s. I'm 28. And I remember when I was like literally just turned 20, I am about to graduate college, and I was like feeling so behind, like, oh my gosh, like I don't even know like what I want to do. Like I knew I wanted to go to nursing school. I knew I wanted to help people, but it just felt so far away. And it's because you were just checking off boxes this entire time. You were just doing things because you thought it was right. You have been told that this is the only path to succeed. And so, number one, just pause and reflect what's no longer working, even if it used to. So this is so important, especially in a business, right? You have to constantly look back, reflect, make changes, what's working, what's not working. And this is something that I have actually recently been going back to, because I have been doing things in my business that has gotten me pretty far, right? It has gotten me where I'm at today, but I know it's not going to get me to the next level. Like I would sit on my computer for like 10 to 12 hours a day at my desk, doing who knows what on my computer, thinking I was being productive, but in reality, my health was crashing, my relationships were not getting nourished, my body wasn't getting nourished with foods. So I really had to take a step back and realize, like, Jazmine, like, you cannot keep going this way. Like, yes, it has gotten you this far, but if you want to go to the next level, that is not going to work for me anymore. So right now I am like realigning my whole, how I do everything in my business, right? I'm making systems. I have systems in place now. I have specific days and times where I'm meeting with clients. Other days I'm really focusing on the business. I'm working on the business, not in the business. There are days where I'm actually like really focusing on like my habits and my health and really focusing on my relationships. Number two is clarifying your yeses. So what decisions actually align with your current purpose, your values, and your capacity? And then now you really want to think about your vision. Like really take some time and like meditate, prayer, whatever you need to do, pray and ask like what's next? Like what do I really see in my head that I want to do? And sometimes maybe it's something that's like completely out of the norm, right? I have a lot of clients that I actually work with and they're very successful women in their jobs, right? And they have gone through this whole health journey and they're very passionate about health, right? They love health, they love wellness, they love the work that we have been doing. And they told me like, I want to do this. Like, this is what I want to do. And I'm like, then do it. You can do it too. Do it. I know it's scary. It's definitely scary leaving something that you have known your whole life. But if you truly have that calling to help others or this new vision, trust that. You have to trust that. And then you also want to create a rhythm that actually aligns with your purpose. So like I was just saying, I had to like restructure my whole life basically to actually move my business forward. And so sometimes it's not even about the business. Like maybe your business is running perfectly, but you are burning out. So you have to really restructure your life. So you have to really take some time, look at your health. What are your habits? How are your relationships? What are your values? And really just like kind of like refocus on what you want, what that future you wants. And then always return to your why. So like, why do you even want to do this? What are you here to build? What is your calling? What are you meant to do in this lifetime? I pivoted away from nursing school to protect my purpose. And that decision, while extremely hard, was the first time I realized that a misalignment is not a failure. It's actually feedback. And you weren't made to hustle your way into wholeness. You were made to lead from overflow. So wherever you are right now, hear me when I say resting is not a weakness. It's actually a strategy. Clarity is not a luxury. It's your leadership tool. And alignment is not optional. It's really the only way that gets to feel good and sustainable. So if this episode stirred anything in you at all, share it with someone else that needs this reminder. And if you are ready to stop spiraling and start building forward, Glow Social Club is where we do exactly that. If you're in your healing journey, we have the reclamation path. If you are a business owner in the health and wellness space, if you are a health coach practitioner, we also have the leadership lab too. So I'll see you guys next time, and we'll talk then. If today's conversation shifted something inside of you, if it brought you clarity, relief, or a new way to see your health as a leadership tool, I'd love for you to share this with another powerhouse woman in your world. And remember, symptoms aren't the problem, they are the signal. When you start translating them, you stop surviving and you start leading with clarity. I'll see you next time inside Glow Social Hour.